As most of you know, I've been kind of playing mud a lot lately, and basically, if it works in mud, it's gonna work for anything, okay? Because mud is hell, especially if you're going up against stacked teams with abilities. And I came across an offensive, I had to open my playbook up, and I came across an offensive, set that was kind of working against a lot of different things. So decided to run with it for a few games, and I was able to beat teams I wasn't even supposed to win, right? Because you look at the cards, and it's just like no chance in hell. But I was able to pull off some huge upsets with this scheme. So I decided, let's go ahead and show you guys what we're working with, okay? All right. So from the gate, one of your base plays that you're going to be using is going to be either inside zone. Here's your base play 1, or you're going to use slot cross. Okay, so just kind of go through the motions here. We'll start with the inside zone. And basically what you're going to do is you're always just going to make sure you double team. Now if you're playing mud, you want to make sure that you're double teaming the tackle with the inside stuff. So sometimes it might be the backside, but in regs, usually they don't have the abilities. You're going to double team in front. So what you're going to do, sometimes if you find the user, let's say the user's kind of just, you might have to put 2 sticks on, but maybe not, because y'all understand. What I do is I motion hike to get the defender. When you move somebody, the defender follows, right? Usually if I can identify where the user is, I'm gonna hike that guy right when he's in front of the user. Now what that's gonna do, it's going to force that user to kind of have like that animation where he just stutters. It's going to basically take him out of the play initially. So usually if you're good at identifying where the user is, being able to motion and then hike it as soon as that motion is in front of them. Remember, I'm not motioning my receiver to block. I'm motioning my receiver to get the defender to block his user for me. Okay, so that needs to be your mindset when you're doing. So wherever he's at, if he's over there, you hike it over there just to get him out in front. Okay, you're not doing it for your receiver to block. Again, you're doing it to make traffic on the defensive side so that he has something else to worry about. So wherever he's at, like he's in front of there, look at the traffic it creates. Okay, so wherever you hike it at is really just, it's basically to get the user the fuck out of the box. Okay, so that's going to be one of the first plays you use. Now, if they get to the point where they're able to stop the inside zone, and they're doing a lot of man defense, you'll do the halfback base version. Okay, halfback base versions allow you to kick it out a little bit, and sometimes you just put the block on the edge. But those will be your 2 run checks. Okay, don't really need to elaborate too much into those. The other plays that we're going to get into that I like, and I like a lot. Now, one is going to be the PAD bouts, and this works very good in mud. Reason why they have like a lot of abilities, and I've tested this versus medium route KOs. I've tested this versus deep route KOs, short route KOs, flat KOs, and it just demolishes it. Okay. Let's go random play, it doesn't matter. The reason why is because that deep out is going to beat man regardless, but there's not necessarily a KO for it. You want to attack the side, not necessarily being on the hash. Let me see, like if you're kind of close to the hash, that's the side you want to attack. Okay, so if I'm like right here, I'm going to go to the left. Okay, so just watch. Now obviously regs, you're going to have the ridiculous pass rush, but we'll do it a couple of times. And you're just going to hit it right there and hit the possession catch. Okay, they're going to have to respect that. at the end of the day. So we'll do both sides. Look at there. You're going to kill them with this route. And then it's got a one-play touchdown out of it too that can be covered 2-man if you know what you're doing. Just going to just dot them up with that, go with the user catch, do your click on, tap circle, get the click on, and go ahead and get the easy possession catch. You want to kind of throw it before he cuts. Don't wait too late. You just want to throw it like right before he cuts. Right here. Now sometimes he might have a curl flat with a safety over there, so you got to anticipate that. But just kind of read off. Right before he cuts, you throw it, and you'll get it all day, even with abilities on the DB. All right. Now we can do the other side as well. Remember, you just want to attack the side that's closer to your quarterback's throwing one. Because remember, throw power and throw accuracy is dependent on how far your quarterback has to throw the ball. If I'm throwing it across field, it's going to be a little bit harder to throw. Okay, so like I said, always attack the side that you're closest to. That way, only your receiver has a chance to get the ball, and you're not just throwing up a duck. Now, if you have like, one of those abilities where you could just have a perfect throw regardless whatever you're doing, fine. But you don't have abilities, it's pretty much what you're going to be working with is those deep outs. Now, if it comes to a situation where they're sitting on those deep outs or they want to play cover zero, a lot of people play cover zero in mud. What's going to happen is you're going to open up this one-play touchdown that I like to use. Now, you can do it versus some zones if, you start catching them off guard and stuff with their shades or whatnot. But mainly, they start playing too much cover zero, they're going to give you a wide open one-play if it cuts. So that's what I like to use to kind of get them out of that cover zero blitz. Probably the easiest way to go ahead and attack it. You just got to make that throw. Sometimes, like in Regs, you might have to smart route it so that it cuts faster. Faster it cuts, the quicker it's going to get them. Okay, so if you just smart route it, faster cut, it's going to give you an easy one-play touchdown. All right. So that'll kind of keep them out of those cover zeros. Now, if they have a user back there, you're obviously you're gonna go to your second check. You're gonna go for the dig route. Okay. So let's say if they're back there on the user, on him, you're just gonna hit the underneath dig. Okay. So that'd be your 2 reads versus cover zero. Let's get into the next play. The next play that I like is going to be this slip screen. Usually you'll just use like a screen if they're not doing like a massive pass rush or anything. Like if they just got like a 3-down lineman, they're only rushing like 3 or something. The screen is usually going to be the best read. The main thing that you're going to do that I like in this formation, you're going to take this guy and motion him over here. Now your read progression, obviously you're like any screen, you're gonna roll, like do a half bootleg. You're gonna roll back 5, roll to the right 5. You're gonna see where your running back is. If he's not there, you're gonna check to your second read. Okay. If you don't have time to do that, or if they're blitzing, you're gonna have to get rid of it fast. You're probably just gonna check to that little whip route. If the running back route isn't there, you have 2 reads, okay? You have the route over there by the tight end that goes out, and then you have the dig route over there by Keelan Cole that's coming across the field, okay? These will beat any zone coverage in the game, and they will just annoy users that like to hang out and vacate the middle of the field, okay? So, like I said, just gonna kind of get the screen. It's a 3-man rush, easy play, follow your blocks. Usually, if you do this enough, users start trying to come down, and then you can go to your second read. Second read, usually, like I said, if I don't do the motion, sometimes I might just check the Waller, but we're just going to kind of do the motion and check the Waller anyway. If he's not there, like I said, you got the backside dig that I like. I was kind of looking for a screen this year. You know, last year I had that slip screen out of that single back formation, and I didn't have it in the Raiders playbook this year. But I think this is going to be your screen play for this year, guys. It can kind of get your ball moving down the field. Okay, so it's definitely got some good reads versus man and zone. Like I said, you got the easy one. I should have rolled out. If you don't roll out, you're probably going to take a sack, especially in Regs. But, you know, in mud, maybe not so much because the quarterback and the offensive line blocking is so much better. But you kind of work with what you got. See if it ain't there, you just take the little check down, follow your screen. All right, like I said, your main route though in here is that backside dig. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just kind of show you one more time that backside dig. You roll out, it's going to be wide open in the middle of the field. It's going to get you the ball down there when you need it in a clutch, huge fourth down play or whatever. And you need to make a play. This is going to be your play, guys. Okay. Now, if I choose not to do the motion with the backside digs, you'll murder with that. Now, like I said, if I choose not to do the motion and I don't bring that extra zone over there, I could probably throw it to Waller, and he'll be a read. Okay, so that'll be the main thing. Like if you don't do the motion, you're gonna throw it to Waller. If you do the motion, you'll check to digs. So that'll be your two things. So boom, covers that. Get the backside dig. Obviously, Regs, you're not gonna catch everything, right? But you know, as long as you guys kind of get the opposite objectified, look at that, boom, right across the middle. It's gonna be easy money for you guys. Okay. Especially with the screen, it's going to kind of throw users off. They're not going to know who to defend. Now I'm going to kind of go back, hit reverse, and I'm going to show you my other base play that I like to use. So like I said, you're not going to have this as an audible. It's just going to be something. It's going to have that backside dig, but you're not going to run the backside dig on it. I don't like this one. Sometimes you might want to smart route it. That could be the first thing that you could consider doing because you want it to open up faster. This one, really your main thing is you want to check the tight end first, then you read the crosser, and then your next read is going to be either the running back or the dig route, okay? So we'll read the tight end first. Have the crosser open up on the backside. I'm just kind of showing you the read progressions. So it's the tight end first. And it's going to get, like, if you have an ability with your tight end and you need like 10-yard catches or whatever, it's definitely good. He can get his 20 yards real fast with this too. So if you're trying to get your guys in the zone, definitely want to consider using this. If that isn't open, you got the crosser. In 1 sec. It's like they don't throw as accurate in Regs. They'll bump into people, who just bear with it. Might have to roll out with it. He bumps out. So just bear with me. Like I said, I don't have this issue in mud. Right. There we go. So that'd be your second read. Do it again. Got the tight end open, got the crosser open. Now, there's some adjustments that you can make to it that can, you know, you always want to adjust to what your opponent's doing. So just because, you know, the stock version is working very, very good, it doesn't mean that you should just like abandon trying to, you know, make them do other things, you know. One thing that I like to do is, you know, I might shorten that deep backside dig into like a quick dig route. And I might run a wheel up the side, you know, and then just sit, you know, right there, you know. just kind of keep those two reads where I want and see, look at the difference there. Now I probably could have took that wheel and, you know, made it like a swing route or something. You know, just kind of play with your outside. Don't change your inside. You need that drag and crosser combo. So like I said, I might go like an out route over there. Smart route it, and then just run like a swing route. So if he wants to play man, look at there. So it's just some options that you guys can do. I hope this scheme can help you a little bit. Whether you're playing mud or regs, like I said, I've been beating stacked teams with a no money spent team with this offense. Kind of go into the last play here. The last play that we're going to go over is the shark wheel. And if you're playing regs, you want to make sure that your best receiver is on the outside if you're running this. Usually I'll use this for, you can use it versus like cover 2 man or, you know, stock cover 2 or whatever. You can do it against cover 2 man if they don't have inside shade. If you're playing mutt, that inside shade is just going to cancel this out. Okay, it's just something that you guys need to kind of consider. Usually all I'm going to do is just smart route that little that double move. And if you have like a route tech or anything like deep in elite or something, this will definitely open up your playbook a little bit. Okay, so pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to be reading two reads. We're going to read the dig route by the tight end, and then you're going to be reading the double post going across the middle. Okay, so you got the tight end, he's open. Now their user is going to have to respect it. It's going to keep their user from just bailing off. You know, if you get your check downs and you hit your check downs, so that tight end there, he kind of got to press, but you've seen it kind of open up. It's a little bit tougher in regs because the pass blocking sucks, I'll be honest. One reason why I stopped playing it. I'm also going to give you guys a tip. If you're dealing with like heavy pass rushes and contains, what happens is, like, especially see how far the edge rushers are off the line, off the tackles. What you want to do to stop the aggressive pass rushes, like every time you hike the ball, your quarterback does a mandatory drop back. Okay, sometimes that mandatory drop back puts him out of the designated pocket. If y'all remember playing Madden 06, they used to have like a practice mode where you'd have a little bullseye pocket that you would sit in, and they would shoot like fucking footballs and shit at you. All right, so you got to kind of remember that it's a little 5-yard pocket. See where that X is? Just kind of imagine that X 2 yards in front and 2 yards behind it. That's your pocket. You step outside of that pocket, those contains are going to be very aggressive, especially in mud. You know, I've seen the notice. So if you have a drop back play that's going to be like 5 or 6 step drop back, you know, you want to cancel out of that. Don't hit turbo, because when you hit turbo, your quarterback just becomes stupid. You know, like he starts running into his lineman and stuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to pump fake as soon as he takes his first 2 dropbacks. Okay, and it's going to basically give you a clean pocket. Now, obviously, like I said, the pass protection and regs, you got to set up your double teams and stuff. But we'll do it again. You hit that, now that pass rush isn't as aggressive. You can basically sit in the pocket. Now, if you have a great offensive line, then you'll be able to do a little bit more. So there. Now, like I said, offensive line and regs is different than mud. So if you have a bad offensive line, I wouldn't. You probably might have to block somebody else. But for the most part, it does work. If you don't do it right, you don't pick them up. It's just something you have to kind of practice with. and make sure that your ID is on the right guy. So it's supposed to be like that, I think. There we go. Look how much cleaner that pocket is. So you got to set your double team and your slide protections up. And make sure your default ID is not on a linebacker. But y'all get it, all right? It's not something your guy's going to spam. Like I said, you're just going to read that dig route by the tight end, and you're going to read that post route. Look at how clean that pocket is. Now, I made a bad throw, but I definitely I wasn't pressured. So pressure, slide, right, double in front, ID, pump fake. I didn't get picked up that time. Just got to kind of work with it a little bit. Actually, let me slide left. ID, maybe that'll be. Yeah, that's a clean pocket. That is a fucking clean pocket. Alright, so if you can do this with a bad offensive line in Madden, in Regs, obviously, I'm letting you do it perfectly. So it's slide protect to the weak side, double in front, ID over there, pump fake. Fucking Alex Bars, you suck. But y'all get the idea. Alright, so those are going to be your plays. Hope this scheme kind of helps you a little bit. I think there might be another play that I use. Let me double check. Sometimes I might use double slants. I don't necessarily need to show you guys how to run that. Sometimes I'll run it flipped. Basically, you're just going to be waiting for the ISO receiver to cross, the one where it has the flat side, because people always double. For some odd reason, they chase the double slants to the one side and they leave the ISO by itself. That's pretty much what you're going to be doing versus cover 0 or whatever. You can use the Y cell. It's basically the same thing as slip screen. The only thing that changes is the running back read. He'll be open to the flat. Trying to see if there's any more. Sometimes I might play with like corner strike. I haven't really built a scheme around it yet. And I've used X dagger. Is actually pretty good too. I was using this last night. Someone that was using like a baseline cover 6 invert. I don't know if the game is going to match it up the way dude was using it. Yeah, it's not going to match it up because dude had the invert side on the other side. And I would basically just go up the seam and beat him wide open. But the auto flip is not going to let that happen. Because usually you would just want, you'd want that dig route to go to the other side. And they're just not going to give me that. I don't know. Yeah, they're not going to give me the read I want, but sometimes you play with it. You watch me play enough in streams, you'll kind of start seeing, some of the reads I make, and I might expand upon the plays that I showed you. Okay, just kind of adjust a little bit depending on your opponent tendencies. But that, for the most part, is going to be your scheme. And I appreciate y'all tuning in. Give me like 15 minutes so I can kind of wake up a little bit, and I'll turn the stream back on. We'll get back into our mud grind. Okay. Appreciate you tuning in, and as always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and I hope this scheme helps you guys.